No man is worth disrupting your peace. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel where we talk all about personal development, self-improvement, self-help, basically anything that we need to know in order to level up. So if you are interested in any of those, do not forget to subscribe so that we can stay connected and embark on this leveling up journey together. So lately my For You page has been flooded with clips of Love Island USA. And while I usually watch these shows for fun, maybe watch these clips for like the drama, the tea, it really struck something deeper in me. This season has made me so emotional, and I've honestly just been crying because I feel so bad for some of the people on this show. Like, it really is just emotional manipulation from the producers, and they are making this experience horrendous for some of the people on this island just for the sake of ratings and views. It's sad and disgusting, and I personally think it's immoral. And specifically the situation between Huda and Jeremiah. If you don't know, Love Island is basically a dating show where people go on it to find love, and the winners, I think, win like $100,000, something crazy like that. But the point of the show is to kind of test these connections. Some people go in it for the wrong reason. Some people don't want to find love. They just want to win the show, or they just want to like get famous or whatever. Other people do want to find love, and they are in it for the right reasons. And they end up getting hurt in the process because the show sends out like different contestants, I guess, midway through these people exploring their already established relationships. It's just like messy. It's so messy. And multiple people have come out saying that the production really does fabricate the story. It really does not care about the mental health of the contestants. It manipulates the story for the viewers as well. Like, we only get to see an hour of these people's lives where they spend 24/7 in that villa for 6 weeks, no contact with the outside world, no contact with family and friends. So we don't know what goes on in the scenes. But this season has caused a lot of backlash for two contestants in particular, for like their relationship. People have called it out as toxic. I'm not here to say if either Jeremiah is toxic or Huda is toxic. That is not what this episode is about. But I do want to just say that bullying and harassment of any kind, it's not right. At the end of the day, these are real people, and just because they are on that show doesn't mean that they aren't deserving of empathy and grace. Again, we are viewing highly edited clips. A lot of these times people are meant to be perceived as evil, as messy, and more than they actually are. So we cannot judge any of these people's characters based on what we see in the show, because we don't really know what's going on. But there is something that I think we as a society are not talking about enough when it comes to love and dating. When you choose someone to share your time, your space, your vulnerability with, are you protecting your peace? And are you even keeping your peace in mind when you are pursuing a relationship? It is so easy to get caught up in the moment, in the connection, in the butterflies, the chemistry, and the idea of what someone could become to you and what relationship you could potentially form. But if someone costs you your mental clarity, your mental stability, or your ability to show up as yourself, that is not a connection. That is not love. That's a disruption in your life. Your mental well-being is the foundation of your life. It influences how you move towards your goals. It influences how you treat other people. It affects your health, your energy, your self-purpose, and your self-talk. Everything begins with your inner peace. And when you let someone into your life who does not honor that peace, who plays games, triggers anxiety, gaslights you, or makes you question your worth, that isn't love, and it should not be taken lightly, because that is a risk to your entire self. And look at Huda. Before the villa, she seemed to be doing great for herself. Again, we don't really know, right? We don't know her, we don't follow her 24/7, we don't know her inner thoughts, we don't know. But from the content that she was posting, it seemed to be like she was doing pretty good for herself. She was building a massive online platform. She was a fitness coach. She was posting very confidently, and she's so beautiful, so like rightfully so. She looked focused and grounded, and honestly like she was thriving. And these are all assumptions, but I would argue that they are reasonable assumptions. And then came the villa. And the emotional chaos that we have seen unfold in that island, I truly feel for her. That is not the same girl who was building her empire. She's constantly crying, she's questioning herself and her worth, and she is dimming her light. And I can't even judge her, because I think if you have put yourself out there, I'm pretty sure we can somewhat relate to her experience. So many of us have felt the feeling of our world unraveling, of slowly losing the sense of who you are just because somebody does not treat you right. Like, if you have never been in a toxic relationship or situationship, you're lucky. You're one of the lucky ones, and you are one of God's favorites, because that is not fun. The spiral is real. That is what happens when we start minimizing our own needs, when we start brushing off the early red flag, excusing disrespectful behavior, all in the name of love. And I wanted to make this video as a gentle reminder to make sure that your suitors, or the people who you are pursuing, are worth your time and your energy. The wrong person can make you feel like you're the problem. They can dim your spark, and they can convince you that you're too emotional, you're too needy, you're too insecure, too sensitive, when the truth is that we are all worthy of someone who provides us safety, reassurance, care, and respect. So if you are currently in a position where you're in the early stages of talking to someone, or maybe you're already like in a relationship with them, and you're starting to feel yourself slipping into that, you're starting to lose sight of that confident bitch that you once were, you're starting to notice that you're putting up with things that you probably wouldn't have put up with before meeting this person, this is your reminder to come back to yourself, because you are the prize. We are all prizes, okay? And somebody will recognize that. The right person will recognize that. So long as it starts with you recognizing that your peace is your most sacred prize, that your peace is a bigger priority than any external factors. And anyone who doesn't recognize and treat that peace as sacred is not worthy of you. There's a big misconception that you have to change yourself, or you have to kind of guide others to change into somebody who you're compatible with. Like, oh, I like them, but maybe if they just didn't do this, I'm gonna talk to them about it. Let's see, let's hope they change. You know, sometimes you're gonna get in a relationship with someone and you guys are gonna grow together, but there has to be that like level of respect, that level of like mutual understanding that, hey, I want you to be good, and I expect that you want me to be good. And as long as we both operate in that way where it's like, yeah, sometimes we're gonna make each other upset, sometimes we're gonna act immature, sometimes we're gonna do stupid shit, but we are gonna come back and be like, whoa, we're arguing right now, or we have been arguing, wait, what are we doing? I want you to be good, you want me to be good, what are we doing? Right? If you guys have that, I think that's a different story, because it's human nature that, you know, not every relationship is going to be good. Some conflicts will arise, but it is so blatantly obvious when someone is with you and they just have no regard for your well-being. And that doesn't necessarily make them like a bad person. Sometimes two people are just simply not compatible with each other. This person may have characteristics that just trigger the fuck out of you, and you may have characteristics that just trigger them, and that's okay. You know, you don't have to force that puzzle to like connect. Sometimes it just isn't meant to be. And so we have to make sure that our emotions, our characteristics, the way we talk to other people, the way we express our love, we have to make sure that is compatible. And there are ways to tell very early on if you're not compatible. You know, there are certain red flags that should not be ignored. And red flags, especially those that we can start noticing within ourselves, are indicators that we are not compatible with a certain suitor. So these are some of the red flags that I personally don't ignore when considering whether or not I want to continue to get to know someone, continue to be in a relationship with someone even. And I constantly have to reevaluate if those red flags are showing up in my relationships. Number one, your nervous system is constantly on edge. If you feel anxious more than you feel calm around a certain person, trust that. Love isn't supposed to keep you in this like fight or flight mode. It's also not supposed to feel like a never-ending chase. If you have a somewhat secure attachment style, or at least you're able to regulate your anxious attachment style pretty regularly, but for some reason you just haven't been able to with this person, then those consistently anxious thought patterns or feelings shouldn't be ignored. And again, this one is especially for somebody who has a pretty healthy sense of self, right? You can feel insecure at times, and then those anxious thought patterns might pop up, but for the most part, like if you are somebody who is like pretty secure, you're somebody who is pretty confident, you're somebody who doesn't usually act like this, then this is just a clear indicator. And yes, sometimes there will be particular reasons where you like really sit with it and you're like, what is it? Oh yeah, this person has wandering eyes. Oh yeah, I caught this person texting other people. Oh yeah, sometimes this person is in it, sometimes they're not. Then those are, yeah, red flags, run. But sometimes there won't be clear indicators. It'll just be a reaction to being with this person, and that's fine too. Number two, they are inconsistent. When someone's words and actions don't line up, it creates emotional instability. You're not sure where you stand with this person, and this uncertainty can really chip away at your confidence. It's also a manipulation tactic. Like, if we're being honest, you know, how to get somebody to be completely obsessed with you is to really play that cat and mouse game with them. Sometimes you act hot, sometimes you act cold and distant. That is a great way to get somebody wrapped around your sleeve. And so if you notice that the person that you are in a relationship with, or the person that you're like getting to know, is actively doing this, that is also a huge, huge red flag, because nobody who has your best interests at heart is going to want to put you through that ringer. And honestly, it's also a big indicator that that person is feeding one thing in your ear and telling their friends something completely different. They're over here telling you, oh, you're everything I've been looking for. You make me so happy. I love you, maybe. And then to their friends, they're like, yeah, I don't really know about this. Yeah, I don't know. She's kind of iffy. Yeah, I'm still like looking into it. She's cool, I guess. Like, if they're over here telling you all these great things, but then they go weeks without talking to you, or sometimes leave you feeling like a fool, then they don't like you as much as they claim they do. And if you were one of their closest friends, I promise you would be hearing a completely different story. Number three, you're always justifying their behavior to others. Oh, but I'm sure they didn't mean it like that. Oh, but he's been having a really bad week. They're usually not like this. You know, I think they're going through something. Oh, maybe they're just super busy. Take a step back. Consistently having to defend someone's mistreatment is a red flag. A huge red flag. The truth is that your friends or your family, any outsider honestly, isn't looking at this person's actions through rose-colored lenses. They're going to have a more neutral perception of the situation at hand than you do. So while you shouldn't completely take other people's words for that relationship or for how this person may be, you also shouldn't take it lightly. Number four, you don't feel safe expressing yourself. You shrink yourself, you stay silent sometimes, or you maybe edit your emotions to avoid starting a fight or hurting this person or triggering this person. I don't want him to yell. I don't want him to get angry. That is not peace. That is suppression. That is suppression of you, of yourself. Remember what I said about all of us being prizes, okay? We all have different reactions to things, different emotions, different thoughts, different quirks. These are all the things that make us us. So if you're with somebody who maybe doesn't like that you're too loud, or maybe doesn't like that you talk like this, or maybe doesn't like this, that, why are you with them? You do not have to shrink yourself for anybody. All of those things that a person may not like about you, or like they're kind of iffy on, or you notice that they kind of get annoyed when you do it. You know, if it's not hurting anyone and if it's just part of what makes you you, then you don't have to stay with that person who makes you want to suppress yourself, because those are all things that make you amazing, that make you special. And somebody out there is gonna love those things about you. There are probably tons of people who already do love all of those things. Number 5, they punish your emotions. If anytime you're hurt and you bring something up and they're like, oh, you're so dramatic, or they twist it back on you, or they start acting cold after you express yourself, or they even make you feel guilty for having those thoughts to begin with, that may be a sign of emotional manipulation. You are allowed to be upset. You are allowed to want certain things in a relationship. And I promise you, there are a lot of people who are going to be more than willing to give you that and more. If that person that you're talking to, or if that person that you've been in a relationship with is not ready to hear feedback, is not even willing to meet your needs, then leave them, because that's a sign that you are not compatible with. Number 6, you don't recognize yourself anymore. It doesn't take a lot of time for you to start questioning your judgment, for you to lose your confidence, or stop doing things that you love when you are around a toxic person. It truly does not. So the second that you start kind of like not even being able to recognize who you are, you start to realize like, hey, I haven't been taking care of myself. I haven't really been enjoying anything that I used to enjoy. That's a clear sign, because the right relationship will nurture you and will make you want to pour in more to yourself. It won't make you want to abandon yourself. And let me just end with this. Your peace is sacred. It is not something to play with, because it affects every single aspect of your life. It is something that you must guard, that you must protect intentionally and unapologetic. And you don't owe anyone access to you just because they like you, just because they make you feel butterflies, just because the chemistry is there. No, you owe yourself loyalty first before anything else. So please, 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 anytime you feel yourself questioning a relationship, ask yourself this: does this person support my peace, or do they sabotage it? And if it's the latter, walk away. Not because they're evil, not because you hate them, not because you failed at maintaining a relationship or they failed at making you happy. No, because your inner peace is not up for negotiation, and you simply just are not compatible with that. But other than that, that was all that I had for you guys today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, no Jeremiah hate, no Huda hates. My feelings aside from what is going on the island, I just think we all need to remember to protect ourselves and protect our peace and look out for ourselves, because, you know, unfortunately, there, you know, are a lot of good people on this earth, but there are also a lot of people who don't have our best interests at heart, and that's the truth. So we really have to make it our mission to just look out for ourselves and protect our peace, because it is everything. I cannot stress this enough. But yeah, until next time, bye.